are you today? I hope you guys still in a good condition during these quarantine times. Well, in this opportunity, I would like to share my simple explanation about one of categories of phrase. But before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Dina Karisma Dewi from 4F class. I made this video to finishing my final project assessment of syntax course. So, without any further ado, let's get started. Happy watching! As we know, phrase is a small group of words that has a particular meaning when we use together. There are some categories of phrase, namely adjective phrase, noun phrase, verb phrase, adverbial phrase, and preposition phrase. In this opportunity, I choose noun phrase as my topic and to explain and want to explain my simple explanation about my understanding of noun phrase. And now let's start from the definition of noun phrase. According to Prehi 2006, noun phrase is a group of words that work as a noun. Meanwhile, according to Quiz 2009, noun phrase is a phrase that plays a role as a noun, so that we can conclude that noun phrase, or called as the MP, is a phrase which is headed by a noun. In other words, noun phrase is a group of words with a noun or pronoun as the head and other constituent as the modifiers. It is refers to words that work in the same way as a noun. Some example of noun phrase such as big car, a sweet baby, an old man, and etc. And now let's move to the types of noun phrase. The first type of noun phrase is a noun phrase as a subject. It is mean that a subject is a noun of the clause in the sentence that describe what the sentence is about and means. Here the example of noun phrase as a subject. Example is, as you can see in the slide, a lot of ducks are walking in the street. From this sentence, a lot of duck is a noun phrase as a subject. It is the subject of the sentence, and the sentence tells about there are lots of ducks are walking in the street. And next, for the second types of noun phrase is a noun phrase as a complement. It has the function to restate or give some detailed information about the noun. The example of noun phrase as a complement is I will share you in the slide. As you can see in the slide, here the example of noun phrase as the complement. The example is the false fat is cute, humble, and white. In the sentence, the noun cute, humble, and white give the detailed information about the device pet, so that it acts as a complement to the noun phrase pet. And next, for the third type of noun phrase is a noun phrase as a direct object. The definition of noun phrase as the direct object is a direct object is a noun or pronoun that receives the action of the verb. The example of noun phrase as a direct object. As you can see in the slide, the example is Windu brings a chocolate for his sister. In the sentence, the verb in the first sentence is brings, and the object that is being brought is a chocolate. The rest of the phrase for his little sister create a noun phrase that acts as a direct object, so that we can say that for his sister acts as the direct object. And the next types of noun phrase is a noun phrase as an indirect object. An indirect object identify the person to whom or for whom the action verb is done. The example of noun phrase as an indirect object is Dika bought Udin a big a car in California.
Object, as you can see in the slide, Dika bought Udin a big car in California. In this sentence, the noun phrase answered the question, who did Dika buy a big car to? The phrase Udin is an indirect object because it received a big car, so that we can say that Udin as the indirect object in this sentence.
Meanwhile, for the last type of noun phrase is a noun phrase as a prepositional object. A prepositional object refers to pronoun, noun, or noun phrase that precedes a prepositional in a sentence. For the example
of noun phrase as a prepositional object, as you can see in the slide, the example is Wayan is walking with Iluh. In this sentence, Iluh act as a noun phrase that act which is acting as the object of preposition with. In the sentence, with is the act as the prepositional object.
And now let's move to the element of noun phrase. Through this video, I would like to share 4 elements that include in the noun phrase. The first element is determiner, the second element is adjunct, the third element is complement, and the last element is head. Let's start from the determiner. Determiner is a word that clarifies a noun. It has the function to give the details, and also it is used to differentiate a similar noun. There are 6 kinds of determiner, such as an article, a quantifier, a possessive, and the others. The example of an article determiner is an, the, some, and any. And now, for the second element of noun phrase is adjunct. Adjunct is not a necessary appear in the noun phrase. If we remove adjunct, it will not affect the sentence or the noun phrase, so that adjunct is not necessary or is optionally a word that used in the noun phrase. Alright, and then for the third element of noun phrase is a complement. Complement is a word that gives the details in the noun phrase. It has the function to describe or give some information about the noun. And for the last element of noun phrase is head. Head here is the main component in the noun phrase. It has the function to be the core complex component in the noun phrase, and it has the main role that appear in the noun phrase.
Alright everyone, now let's move to the example of X-bar theory. Through this video, I provide you the diagram of X-bar theory. As you can see in the slide, here is the XP. Not only about noun phrase, but you can also mention the other phrase like adjective phrase, verb phrase, or prepositional phrase. And then XP here followed by 2 doctors, namely specifier and X-bar. Specifier here is the determiner. You can mention the determiners such as an article determiner or a quantifier determiner. And then X bar here followed by 2 doctors, namely X bar and adjunct. Adjunct is an optional. You can mention adjunct or not. It depends on your phrase. And then X bar here followed by 2 doctors, namely X and complement. X here is the head. Head is the main core on your sentence or noun phrase, and then complement here is the details of the information about the nouns. Well, let's see for the first example of noun phrase and X bar. As you can see in the slide, here is the example of noun phrase and its X bar. The determiner. I have a phrase. The phrase is a baby. in this phrase, the determiner is a. A is one of the part of an article determiner and baby is the noun. And then for the next example is adjunct and it the example of adjunct and its X bar. I have the sentence. The sentence is the boy of Germany with a red rose. As you can see in the slide, the adjunct in the sentence is the with a red rose. You can mention this phrase or not. It will not affect the remainder of the sentence. Now, as you can see, here is the N double bar has two doctor, namely determiner. The determiner is the, and then N bar have two doctors. The doctor is N bar and also PP. The head of this sentence is boy, and the complement of the sentence is of Germany. And then for the third X bar is the example of complement diagram and X bar. Here is the sentence. I have the sentence. The sentence is the book of science. The complement in this sentence is of science. Why? Because the complement is the complement on the sentence give the information about the books. We can say that the books on this sentence is science book. As you can see, here is the NP and then NP followed by two doctors. The determiner is the, and then N double and N bar is followed by two doctors, namely N. Here is the head of the sentence, and here is the complement of the sentence. And then for the last X bar example of X bar diagram is the head. Here I have the phrase. As you can see, the phrase is the ball. The head of this phrase is a ball because a ball is the noun of this phrase, and then the is the determiner of this phrase. As you can see, NP is the father, and then following by two doctors such as determiner and N bar, and then N bar following by one doctor is the noun, and the noun is the ball. Here is the head of the noun. So that I think that's all about my explanation. I know you still difficult to understand it, but you can see again and back again in the previous slide about the X bar theory that I already mentioned before. Well, that's all about my explanation. Hope you enjoy with this video and hope you also gain something beneficial for this video. So thank you for watching and see you later.